bonjour. I'm your online French teacher, Mme G, or Mme G. Let's continue learning French through simple stories. Today's story, like all of our future stories, can stand on their own, or if you decide to watch the videos in order, you will notice story progression. Alright, let's get started. C'est parti. Camille et les oiseaux. Elle et Camille. Elle est dans le jardin. Elle entend les oiseaux. Elle est curieuse. Elle marche dans le jardin. Elle et Camille. Camille. Elle est dans le jardin. Camille est dans le jardin. Elle entend les oiseaux. Les oiseaux. Camille entend les oiseaux. Elle est curieuse. Elle est curieuse. Elle marche dans le jardin. Elle marche dans le jardin. Maintenant, le vocabulaire. Le vocabulaire français, le vocabulaire anglais. Le français, l'anglais. Numéro 1. Elle. En anglais, définition. Et numéro 2. Est. Anglais, traduction. Et voilà. Numéro 3. Dans. Traduction en anglais. Okay. Numéro 4. Entend. Entend. Traduction en anglais. Et voilà. Numéro 5. Les oiseaux. Les oiseaux. Traduction en anglais est. Et voilà. Numéro 6. Marche. Traduction en anglais est. Et voilà. Maintenant, on va faire le question de compréhension. Et voilà, le question de compréhension. Le question de compréhension pour l'histoire. OK? Question numéro 1. Qui est dans le jardin? Qui? Signification de qui? Qui? Une personne qui est dans le jardin. Ça, c'est Camille. dans le jardin. Ok, très bien. Question numéro 2. Qui est curieuse? Curieuse. Qui est curieuse? Elle est curieuse. Elle est Camille. Camille est curieuse. Très bien. Question numéro 3. Camille nage. Camille nage ou marche dans le jardin. Camille nage ou marche dans le jardin. Marche. Ok. La réponse, Camille marche dans le jardin. Ok, très très bien. You just understood French through a story. If you feel confident and have learned enough French for one day, please share, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. For those who want their grammar lesson of the week, let's get into it. Alright, so today's grammar lesson of the week, today's topic, we are covering definite articles. So what are definite articles? Any guesses? I can guarantee you have already seen these in the story, you just may not know what they are called. So let's point some out in the story. An example of a definite article would be here. Another one would be this one and this one. Do you see any similarities between these words or any commonalities? Okay, now these words here tend to appear before what kinds of words? All right, if you said before nouns, common nouns, you are correct. So what exactly are we talking about? So what exactly are definite articles? Definite articles appear before nouns and they are meant to specify something. In English, this word is the. Now, in English, we are very lucky we only have one. In French, however, we have three. So, as we saw in the story, one of them was le. So, le, we'll get into what this space is for. Another one in French is la. And our third one is les. Now, all of these here mean the. Now, you may be asking, Madame, why are there three in French? So, and when do I know when to use each? That's a great question. Le goes in front of common nouns that are masculine, singular. And I will abbreviate using that. And la appears in front of common nouns that are also singular, but if le is for masculine, appears before common nouns that are masculine, then la must be for feminine nouns. If we have singular and we have a singular masculine and singular feminine, then this one must be plural. You can tell as well because it ends in S. Usually any noun in French that ends in S, there are other endings in French that tell you that it is plural, but the most common one is S. That tells you that it's plural, and gender does not matter. If you see plural, use les, les. If it's singular masculine, use le. If it's singular feminine, use la. So an example would be le garçon. Okay, let's answer this one here. So réponse, that's what the R stands for. So definite articles appear before common nouns. Common nouns, so if you don't know what a noun is, that is completely okay. So it's a person, place, thing, or idea. So an example of a person would be a girl, a boy, a woman, a man, a teacher, a doctor, professor, etc. A place could be, again, common nouns. A place would be the library, the office, the classroom. A thing could be an apple, a book, a pencil. Idea could be love, liberty, freedom, chaos, okay? And again, an example of using the in French, but the masculine singular version of the would be le garçon. Again, because this is a common noun, it's masculine, you're using le. And another common question I would get from my students is, Madame, how do you know when a noun in French is masculine or feminine? That's another great question. Usually what I tell my very, very beginner students is and again, this is for most of the time, so just stick with this rule and you'll get it right like 90% of the time. If there is no E after the common noun, then it is most likely masculine. And also if this is a boy, so it also already has gender, so because of that it's masculine. Okay, number 2, I can give you 2 examples here. So this noun here, you might have already seen this one already. So do you know what this means? If you said girl, you are correct. Because this word already has gender, am I going to use le or la? Okay, it would be la fille. Another example, I'm going to use a thing this time. Let's use pomme, which means apple. Again, there is no S, there's no indication that this noun is plural. It also ends in E, and I'm going to go with my the little rule that we just made, which if it's singular and it ends in E, I know it's feminine, so I'm going to use la pomme. So this means here the boy, this one means the girl, and this one means the apple. All right. And an example for this third article, let's say something that we saw in the story, les oiseaux. X tells you that it's plural. So because that one was a little funky, let's use an example, one of the examples that we talked about, which is if it ends in S, then you know it's plural. So one that ends in S would be les livres. Okay, if you cover this, if there's no S, it's book, with S is books. So, les livres, the books. Okay. If there was no S, then there would be no S there. It would be le livre. Les livres. All right. So those are some examples there. And again, definite articles tell you something that is specific. Okay. So it would be the in English, and these appear before common nouns. And that is our grammar lesson for the week. Hopefully this helped. Let me know if maybe I went too fast, if it was too in-depth, or maybe not enough. And I hope you learned something. Thank you guys so much for watching. Merci beaucoup. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. À bientôt.